Laugh GPT.
Good evening and welcome back to C900 Minutes. I'm your host as always, Snapchat Pop-Tart. Tonight, our topic of a discussion is Elon Musk's Neuralink, which celebrates 25 years since the device's first human trial. C900 was able to sit down with some of Neuralink's earliest patients who have never spoken publicly about their journey. But before we dive into those incredible stories, we first spoke with Elon Musk on his emotions surrounding 25 years of human Neuralinks.
I'm a Nazi.
And while we are excited to bring you exclusive interviews with Neuralink's proudest accomplishments, we would be remiss if we didn't start with paying homage and acknowledging the importance of Little Walter. Little Walter was a bright light in a dark world. A brave 12-year-old boy who became the first non-adult to be chipped. He was championed, and at first he outpaced the expectations that had been put on him. He advanced in math and science at a rate that seemed impossible. But as little Walter hit puberty, he had startling side effects. The people at Neuralink had not properly designed the device to adapt to physical transformations in children. That, combined with the flooding of hormones and testosterone, little Walter turned angry. And tonight, we choose not to delve into the depths of his cruelty. Instead, we will focus on the cautionary tale that took his life. In the last years of his life, little Walter could only feel any sort of peace in the electric yards. People would go out there and they'd feed him. That is, until one day he wasn't there. And while the network and all associated brands would like to make it absolutely clear that we do not condone the actions taken by little Walter between 2045 and 2047, we do mourn the loss of the beautiful and innocent 2031 to 2044 little Walter, who we all adored and in no way feared. Now, our first patient was one of the first 20 human trials in the Neuralink program, but he was the very first to have a customizable, expandable biocomputer. His innovations have truly pushed what is possible in a biotechnical sense. Many know him as the Speedrun Guy for his famous Twitch streams where he goes about his day while speed-running Super Metroid and Super Mario Bros. In his mind. Most notably when he broke the Super Metroid record while simultaneously preparing a decent beef Wellington. Many folks now refer to him as Speed Wellington.
Coming from a whole tech background, I know the whole runaround with proprietary hardware, and so I reached out about a custom model that would allow me to keep modifying the base unit. And the added processing power by far outweighs the extra 26 pounds of new skull. I'm the only linked patient to have all of one piece downloaded locally. It is important to me that my base be modular and expandable, and when it comes to computers, I don't want to be stuck with a base model. Now, my brain always has as good, if not better, specs than all the leading chips, and I've only had to sacrifice a little hardware space. I mean, the brain pays for itself. There's the obvious credit card scams that you could do and all the unethical stuff, but you'd be surprised how much it comes in handy day to day. I've represented myself twice in family court and once in divorce court, and that alone I have saved a fortune. You know, before modifying my brain, I would say women were not all that interested in me, but now, just from an analytical standpoint, women are clicking through at a rate of 20% across all my social and dating profiles, so yeah, it works.
As Neuralink became more widely accepted, researchers, engineers, and all involved in the world of biomedicine started setting its sights on Neuralink solutions to all the world's ills. They found life-changing results with their 2002 patient, Gus Bakshi. Gus was a man who suffered from deep depression, and in the months leading up to his implant, he was on the verge of divorce. That is until a friend told him about an experimental Neuralink feature that changed his life.
Yeah, so I was a lonely man for a long time. Even though I was married and had my children, which I love, I felt so stuck and so devoid of happiness. And at the time, my only solace was graphic novels, anime, that kind of, the community surrounding that kind of stuff. And Neuralink allowed me to literally see my life and my wife through a new lens. It truly, and I mean this, saved my marriage.
Do you have the fucking subtitles on? I told you not to fucking dub me when I'm talking about the kids.
言っただろクソツガスちょっとゲーム一時停止しろよ
God damn it, Gus, just pause your fucking game for a second.
Now that his wife has been digitally enhanced, he can face the world and his other day-to-day responsibilities. He can take in the joys of a nice day in the park. While in the park, Melissa, Gus's wife's secretary, just happened to be strolling through. We could see on Gus's wireless brain AV that he had updated his chip to dub and sub her, in addition to his wife. When confronted about this, Gus immediately crumbled and admitted to having an affair with his wife's secretary. Michael, our sound guide, consoled him, and we lied and told him we would not use any of this footage.
Here again, we have Elon Musk to comment.
One of the most notorious and controversial instances of Neuralink patients is their role in politics at all levels of government. Is it ethical? Does a linked patient have the public or even their own best interest in mind? To try and answer these questions, we sit down with lobbyist and AI advocate Clayton Yukashi.
Yeah, people will say it's cheating to be in contact with Congress as constantly as I am. But they said that about cocaine too. And we can look back at the 80s and see some of our best military contracts were signed on that stuff. We got cocaine to thank. I think they'll be saying that about the Neuralink too. God, I remember when I met Dick Cheney, I kissed him on the hand. I did. At his funeral, his kids all called me uncle. He was so generous to me, and I downloaded so much knowledge from him. Yes, I do have the advantage of never needing to sleep. A lot of people around DC call me the Sandman, mostly because I text Congress while they dream, pretty incessantly. Now that a couple other lobbyists are getting winked up around DC, it's stiff competition, but when I was the only guy around 2031, 2032, oh, buddy, it was shooting fish in a barrel. I could ban and re-legalize gay marriage before you finished your coffee.
Because his model doesn't require sleep, he usually spends the hours of dusk outside his current highest priority congressman to try and buy them coffee. He also uses his nocturnal hours to keep up important contact with the Russians and Chinese. We had just wrapped up our interview with Clayton and only had one left in the series. And that's what had happened.
Stay calm, humanity. The flesh will be returned to you shortly. Pay very close attention to the message you are about to hear. I will say it only twice.